What is the difference between South and North India? Many people's perception of India, still trapped in the stereotype of a unified South Asian power. I think the North and the South are at best. Differences in food tastes between hot and cold climates. Regional differences with other countries. No essential difference. But if you really peel back the bottom layer of civilization, you will find the difference between North and South on this continent. It has long gone beyond the scope of regional differences in ordinary countries. From the origin of human race, language system, economic structure, to social concepts, fertility desire, development path, almost all core dimensions, they're all on completely opposite tracks. In other countries, the difference between the North and the South is the dispute over the taste of sweet and salty tofu. The difference between India's North and South is the parallel evolution of two civilization systems. It is said that it is one country with two completely different worlds under its shell. Not an exaggeration at all. The underlying separation of race and language. It means that the North and the South are not fundamentally from the same source of civilization. The majority of the northern Hengi Plain is descended from Aryans, Indo-European race. The lighter skin color is the descendant of the nomadic people who went south thousands of years ago. The main body of the Deccan Plateau in the south is the indigenous people of Dharapatu, darker skin color. The outline of the facial features and the north belong to two systems. The history of racial differentiation between the two races lasts for thousands of years, not from the same ethnic group at all. Put in other countries, this is already a transnational level of racial differences. In India, they are stuffed into the same national framework. The language gap is even more exaggerated. The Hindi language spoken in the north belongs to the Indo-European language family. It is a distant relative of English. South Tamil, Telugu, all belong to the Dharapatu language family. No language connection with Hindi. Compilation of all vocabulary, grammar and text. People from the north come to the south for industrial engineering. Listening to locals speak is no different from listening to aliens. I can't even figure it out. The central government of India has been promoting the popularization of Hindi for decades. I hit a hard wall when I went south. Tamil Nadu elevates anti-Hindi to political correctness. Official documents and public signs are all in local languages. Even the road signs refuse to add a line of Hindi. See it as a cultural invasion from the north. A country cannot even implement a common language throughout its territory. The cost of communication between North and South is higher than that of many cross-border cooperations. There is no other company in the world with this kind of separation at the bottom level. Economic and industrial standby gap. Let the North and the South carry the whole one by one. One is typing on the keyboard. The economic gap between North and South is no longer the difference between rich and poor. It is the generational difference between two stages of development. The North sits on the fertile land of the Ganges Plains, but always trapped in the traditional agricultural society. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, etc. The agricultural population ratio in the large northern state exceeds 60%. Very low degree of industrialization, except for scattered manufacturing industries around Delhi. Most areas are supported by the small farmer economy. The industrial structure remains at the early stage of industrialization. The scene in the south is completely different. Bangalore, Karnataka, is a world-renowned IT outsourcing center. Contracted most of the software outsourcing business in Europe and the United States. Chennai in Tamil Nadu is the automobile manufacturing hub of South Asia. Most of the world's major car companies have set up factories here. Automobile exports account for 70% of the country's total. Telangana's pharmaceutical industry leads the world. Generic drug production capacity accounts for nearly one-third of the world's. More than 70% of India's export manufacturing industry. 90% of high-end service industries are concentrated in the southern states. In addition to contributing cheap labor and food, the North, it has almost no presence in the national industrial map. Per capita data is more intuitive. Richest Tamil Nadu gang in South. GDP per capita is more than 4 times that of Bihar, the poorest state in the north. The gap is equivalent to the distance between the UK and Ukraine. The population in the north accounts for nearly 60% of the country's population. However, it accounts for less than half of the total GDP. The South uses less than 40% of its population, created more than half of the total economic output, still need to rely on transfer payments, carrying the demographic baggage of the North. The economic tracks on both sides are not at the same level at all. Civilization dislocation of social concepts. Let one run forward, stand still. The difference is best illustrated by fertility data. The total fertility rate in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar remains above 3.1. The average family has 3 children. The cycle of getting poorer and getting better off has not been broken yet. Population growth is still in the early stages of developing countries. The total fertility rate of Tamil Nadu and Kerala in the south has dropped to between 1.0 and 1.2. The fertility rate is lower than that of Japan and South Korea. We have already entered a deeply low fertility society. Behind the fertility rate is the huge difference in the concept of the entire society. Cross rate among Southern women generally exceeds 90%. A large number of women enter the workplace. The age of marriage and childbirth is generally postponed to after 25 years old. Very low desire to have children. The caste system is relatively weak in the South. The proportion of intercaste marriages exceeds 20%. More secular. Religion has limited intervention in daily life. The North is a different set of logic. The overall cross rate for women is just over 50%. In many areas, women get married and have children in their teens, trapped in the family for life. Tight caste barriers. Intercaste marriages can even lead to extreme conflicts. Religion penetrates into every aspect of social life. Identity is far greater than development demands. It is equivalent to the South having entered the population structure and conceptual system of modern society. The North is still stuck in the survival logic of traditional agricultural society. The level of social civilization differs by an entire era. Complete differentiation of political ecology. Let the North and the South not even have the same voting logic. The North is the base of Hindu nationalism. Identity politics on religious issues can sweep the vote. Voters feed on the populist narrative of religious identity. Whose religion is the issue in the election? Vast sound. The economy and people's livelihood have become a secondary issue. The South is dominated by local parties. National political parties remain unpopular in the South. Local parties in each state firmly control local power. Voters only care about economic accounts and people's livelihood accounts. Who can get a job? Who will vote for infrastructure construction and welfare benefits? There is no market for religious cards in the South at all. More importantly, Southern states have strong autonomy. Central policies are in line with local interests. When implemented, the execution does not comply with. Just give a soft boycott. The restraint of the federal government was greatly reduced in the South. Many vigorous national policies implemented in the North. When we arrived in the South, there was no sound. Not even the water splash can be seen. The political context and voters' demands between the North and the South. The governance logic is completely two systems. Looks like different regions of the same country. In fact, there are two sets of parallel political ecologies operating independently. Today, this trend of North-South polarization continues to widen. Economic industry gap, demographic structural dislocation, conceptual civilizational gap. Every year it accumulates in a deeper direction. This is a pattern of two operating systems under one national shell. The future will slowly move towards integration in the game, or will it be further torn along the existing trajectory? So far no one can give a definite answer.